Well, the weather seems to have cleared out finally here at the Delaware Valley. Wouldn't it be cool if there was music played every time the kids did that? That's pretty neat that the grounds crew brings them out onto the field to let them be part of the activities before the start of tonight's ball game. It's game one of this three-game series against the Washington Nationals. And so far, so good for the Phillies against the Nationals. They have a 3-3 record against them. Batting average is pretty similar. The Phillies starters have an excellent earned run average and a much better ERA for the Phil's bullpen, although the Nats bullpen has stabilized somewhat since the Phillies last saw them. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, and look who is back. John Kruk is back with us as we get set for this three-game series. You and I did the last series between these two teams down at Nationals Park. Phillies have played them pretty evenly, but Nick Pivetta makes the start against his former team tonight.
Yeah, anxious to see him, too, live. You watch on TV, and it looks like he had a little bit of composure issues early in the game. I mean, you're in Dodger Stadium for your first start. There's some nerves going on. But once he settled in, this breaking ball right here, it plays in the big leagues. But if you set on the breaking ball, like some of these Nationals hitters will do, he has enough of a fastball to throw it by you, averaging about 94 miles an hour on that fastball. And when he locates it, along with that breaking ball, he can have some success tonight against his tough Nationals offense.
Pete McCadden and Bob McClure were very excited with what Nick Pivetta did the last time. As you mentioned, at Dodger Stadium, that's a daunting task. Also a daunting task for the Phillies is the fact that they're facing Steven Strasburg for the third time this year.
Yeah, when you play someone 18, 19 times a season, this is something that you don't want to face too often, and that's Steven Strasburg. We know about the power fastball, the unbelievable changeup, not throwing his slider as much as he has in the past, basically going with a two-seam fastball, four-seam, and that changeup. But Steven Strasburg locates. He doesn't walk a lot of guys. You have to get him early. If you don't get him early, you ain't getting him.
And they also have managed his rest during the course of the season. He's had a few starts where he's had 6 and even 7 days off in between starts. So the Phils and the Nats getting together for game one of this three-game series. It's Teacher Appreciation Night. Brock Stassi saw Mary Polikow earlier today. He gets a chance to meet her again tonight. We'll have some more highlights of that a little later on. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. By Toyota. Find your favorite model today. Toyota, let's go places. By Citizens Bank, official bank of the Phillies. Visit citizensbank.com. And by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Learn more at IBX.com. Away from Los Angeles and Chicago, where the Phillies finished on a 1 6 road trip. The task does not get much easier, though, this weekend because the Nats are in town. Their lineup is brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. Trey Turner leads it off at shortstop, then Jason Worth and Daniel Murphy. And nobody is hotter than Ryan Zimmerman. It's amazing what he's hitting right now. Then Rendon, Taylor, and then the bottom third of Heisey, Wieters, and Strasburg. No Bryce Harper. He's got a groin injury, so he is day-to-day. Now they will face right-hander Nick Pivetta, making his first home start here at Citizens Bank Park. And he is ready to go. Facing Trey Turner, who was 4 for 13 in the last series for the Nats, and the first pitch of the night is in there for a strike. Numbers on Pivetta, 5 innings his last time. He was 3-0 down in AAA with a 0.95 ERA. And John, we've already seen 2 good fastballs from him.
Yeah, he's got a good one. You see the average fastball velocity, almost 95 miles an hour. Slider change curve, but he's locating that heater right now.
He was so amped up at Dodger Stadium. I'm sure he's amped up even today for this particular outing. 1-2 pitch to Turner. A slider outside, and Pivetta slipped off the mound. I do believe he's okay.
I'm sure that his second start in the big leagues, he will be okay. Yes.
Oh, he did slip.
He just front foot, landing foot just slid out. Trey Turner's probably lucky he was throwing a curveball there. The fastball could have gone a little way up and in on him.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Turner. And a fastball hit foul. Last time the Phillies saw the Nationals here at Citizens Bank Park, Turner had gotten injured. And he's been hot since coming off the DL. 3-2. In fact, since coming off the disabled list, he's hitting .368 with 17 runs scored. And it'll be followed by Jason Worth. Swing and a miss. Fastball is topped out at 97. Well, that brings us to our Nissan keys to the game.
Now on the road trip, the Phillies were scoring early, and once you score early, you got to continue. They seems like they get a lead, and then they just stop scoring runs offensively. They go into a little slump, and Freddie Galvis had a couple miscues, but you have a young pitcher out there. You got to catch the ball. Make sure he understands that Pivetta does it. You get behind the count, you throw something, your defense is going to pick you up.
Yeah, Freddie did not have an error going into the road trip, and he had 3 by the time he got off the road trip. By the way, his throwing hand, which he was icing after the game yesterday, is fine. Worth fouls it away, 1-1. Pete McCadden said today, he goes, I think he just got stung by a few swings.
Well, the way you all are talking about the weather in Chicago, and it'll sting you.
It's pretty chilly. In fact, we were watching the Cubs-Yankee game today, and the sun was out, and we thought, man, that's unfair. But it was still in the 40s today. 2 balls, 1 strike to Jason Worth. Worth fouls the pitch back. Current conditions here at Citizens Bank Park, 67 degrees but cloudy. Pete walked out for batting practice today. He had a big winter coat on and sunglasses. As that one is ripped into left field. Aaron Altair dives and knocks it down. And Jason Worth will stop at first base. So 1-out single.
And another breaking ball. Jason Worth seems to be. He swung at a couple fastballs in this at bat, but watch Altair go after this ball. You can tell it was pretty rainy most of the day. Good slide. But watch this one. This is, let's not roll your ankle. Let's just pop up slide and get back to first. It's actually pretty smart.
It is.
You've seen guys try to stop on a dime like that. They'll roll their ankle.
He used to do it going around third all the time. Daniel Murphy lines one into right field, so he's got a base hit. Worth on his way to third as the throw goes into second base. And now the Nationals have runners on first and third with 1 out. guess Murphy realized he's thrown mostly fastballs, so he was going up hunting for a fastball.
Yeah, early in the count, he has been throwing that fastball, and it's a good one. But you let two hitters in front of Daniel Murphy see fastballs, he's going to get a good swing on it.
And now he has to face Ryan Zimmerman, who has been the best hitter in baseball the first month of the season. He's hitting .424. That's only part of the story. 11 home runs and 30 runs batted in.
Good opportunity here to increase that lead. Have you ever had a chance to speak with him?
Early on in his career.
What a really good person.
I think it was his second year in the big leagues, talking to him about his mom and some of the charity work that he had been doing. 1 ball, 1 strike. It's a total turnaround from last year.
You know, though, just watching, it looks like he's closer to the plate. Remember how far away he stood and he couldn't reach a breaking ball down and away? He's reaching it now.
Down the right field line. Saunders will give it a peek toward the seats and out of play. What would you do in a situation like that if you could catch that in foul territory with a runner at third? Would you catch it?
Yes, early in the game, absolutely. Now, I don't know if you remember, we lost a game in Dodger Stadium.
I remember.
One of our outfielders caught one in foul territory. It was a heck of a catch. We just kind of walked on in, and he was waiting for high fives. Come on, man, that was a great catch. Lost the game, though, pal.
Another one fouled away. It remains 1-2. We saw Zimmerman has hit in 11 straight games. He has not gone back-to-back games this year without a hit.
Did he get any yesterday? We'll have to find out.
He was 5 for 11. Yeah, he got one yesterday because the streaks continued.
Like to see Pivetta try to get a fastball in on him, try to get a grounder to Franco. He has to get it in, though.
He tried to get it in to the left of the mound. Worth stops at third, and now Pivetta slips and falls, and everybody is safe. And that'll be an infield hit to make the bases loaded. Not much he could do.
No, but he was getting ready to do the right thing, go to first base. You know he's not going to get Murphy at second. He checks Worth, make sure Worth is going back to third, and then he just slips. I mean, we did have some rain, but I mean, you would hope that when he got to the big leagues, they gave him new cleats with the newer spikes on them.
So they're not all chewed up.
Yeah.
And it did rain. I mean, anybody that was around the Delaware Valley today, I mean, it was pouring.
How about anyone flying into the Delaware Valley?
Was it bad?
Yeah, me and Schmitty were talking about it. He flew in today, too.
Well, now the bases are loaded, and Anthony Rendon will be the hitter. With 1 man down.
That game he had the other day against the Mets.
6 for 6 with 10 RBIs. Oh, his average dropped down to 215 at one point, and since that time, he's hitting .371. This is a red-hot team offensively.
And they got the bases loaded, 1 out in the first inning, and Bryce Harper's still in the dugout.
And a fastball hit foul.
What seems to be different than what we saw early when they played is they're being more aggressive first pitch.
Well, it's also led to these numbers: first in runs, first in average, first in slugging, and tied for third in home runs. Also walking a lot too. Yeah, their biggest issue has been their bullpen. Breaking ball, and it's 1-1 strike.
Rick Shue getting ready to go to batting coach of the year. Dusty, relaxed as always.
Man's won a lot of games during his career.
Oh.
One ball, one strike. He's missing with these last couple of breaking pitches. He's asking Greg Gibson maybe where that last one was. It's a good ball strike umpire.
Two in the same spot, and they got the same result from Greg Gibson.
Greg Gibson's behind the plate tonight. DJ Rayburn's at first. Sam Holbrook is at second base. He was in the middle of that Orioles Red Sox situation the other night. The rest of these guys, Jim Wolf was over at third. He was the one that threw Kevin Gausman out after hitting Xander Bogaerts with the breaking ball the other night. That was sort of the culmination of everything that was going on.
Oh man, that got Cameron good.
Yeah, it sure did. Andrew Knapp got beat up the other night.
Oh, right in the bicep. Nice that Anthony Rendon's giving him a second, but it's still going to hurt when he gets in the pod.
That's the only area that's exposed on that side, right below the flap on the shoulder. 2-2 pitch coming. Fastball hit back toward the middle into center field, a base hit. One run is in, and Murphy will hold up at third. The throw is cut off by Tommy Joseph, and it's 1-0 Nationals. And the bases remain loaded. Well, he's got a good live fastball tonight. Problem is that the Nationals are on target with it, and they're fouling off a few of them too to get their timing down.
Yeah, when you're first in just about every offensive category, it's not like you don't have quality at bats. That was a good one right there by Anthony Rendon, and shows how confident they are. Yeah, that might be a situation. One out, you might send Murphy. Ground ball. He was running as soon as contact was made.
Yeah, I thought they would send him. You know, wet field, all that kind of stuff.
But
hand it to the next guy.
Yeah.
Ooh, Cameron just got another one. That was on the inside of his right leg. And it's 0-1. Cam just walking it off. Gibson chatting with Nick Pivetta right now. Oh, his foot. I thought it was the inside of his leg.
Right.
Not that it's any better.
No, look hit him right in the arc, right in the heel.
And that's going to smart a little bit.
Yeah. Well, at least he's not worried about his arm hurting anymore. Damage control right here for Pivetta. You got one. Try to get out of this with just one. You feel like you won this inning.
0-2.
And Taylor will strike out for a guy who can run, but
he is a free swinger. Pretty good numbers for a young kid with the bases loaded. He's got Murphy at third, Zimmerman at second base, and Rendon at first. No balls, 2 strikes. And a fastball at the knees, strike 3 call.
That's what Nick Pivetta needed right there. A strikeout. Keep Daniel Murphy at third base. Keep scoring 1 runs manageable. Pretty good pitch right here. Looked like it had that late life, 2-seam life. Came back over the outside part of the plate. Now, don't rest on Heisey. He can jump you quick too.
Yeah, he's a good fastball hitter. All three of his at-bats in the last series were as a pinch hitter. And a breaking ball inside, 1 ball, no strikes.
Boy, he changed his approach. He's got a little open, more upright, waggling the bat. His hands are more in front of him and lower.
Over to third base, Maikel Franco will just take it to the bag. So a good job by Pivetta, even though they scored a run, and he did throw 29 pitches in the inning. The Nationals leave him loaded. We'll go to the bottom of the first. It's the Nats 1 and the Phillies coming up. Tonight against the Phils. He's got a 1-0 lead to work with as we go to the bottom of the first inning. Let's take a look at the Phils lineup, brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. Cesar Hernandez will lead it off at second base. He had a good road trip. So did Aaron Altair. Then Odubel hits third. Maikel Franco fourth. And you go down, it's the regulars that we've seen most of the season. And of course, Pivetta batting ninth, facing Steven Strasburg. Cesar Hernandez is ready to go. Shows bunt, takes inside. Strasburg 2-1 so far with a 3.09 ERA. Not many walks for Strasburg in 35 innings.
Now, for a power pitcher, command's always been a plus for Steven Strasburg.
Great numbers against the Phils for his career.
See that average velocity 95.5. Not throwing the slider as much, more curve changeup. Well, there's the curve.
It's 1-2. Cesar has 2 doubles in his career against Strasburg, 7 hits overall. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2-2. Good luck at McDonald's. Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Jim Gula of Williamstown. Phillies hit a homer in today's ball game. Big Jim will win $100. Now at McDonald's, an ice cold delicious soft drink is only $1. I'm loving it. Strasburg's had arm problems obviously during his career. He had the flexor tendon issue last year, had Tommy John surgery previously, and it's part of the reason why he works from the stretch at all times, and he doesn't throw the slider as much.
Pretty good at bat right here by Cesar, working this count full. Here's the thing with Strasburg, you don't know if fastball's coming, even to the leadoff hitter.
Wieters creeps inside. He does pull the 98-mile-an-hour fastball. That's jumped up from the first 2 times we saw him.
Yeah, but it's a good sign for the Phillies that he knows he has to work extra hard to get the leadoff hitter out, because he's having, Cesar putting up an all-star type season so far.
8 for 20 on the road trip. I should say in the series against the Cubs. Cesar's hit in 8 consecutive games. Time is called. Cesar's pointing out towards center field for some reason.
Looking for a light or something.
I don't know.
Blinking out there. I don't see anything.
Over to left side. Cesar hustles. Turner has it. Throws to first. And it's in time to get Hernandez. Cesar was a little slow getting out of the batter's box as he was fighting that ball off. Greg Gibson just looked into the dugout. But the Phillies are not going to challenge it after a 9-pitch at bat.
Yeah, it was kind of a weird swing, like he got fooled a little bit. It looked like the swing got a little longer right there, and that's what slowed him up coming out of the box and probably possibly cost him an infield single.
And now Aaron Altair got a breaking ball down and away, 1-0. This guy was fantastic in the Cubs series. And offensively and defensively.
He's got a chance to be really a special player. It's just getting that playing time, and that's what's going to be interesting to me when Howie Kendrick comes back. What happens then? You know, does Howie possibly move to first base if Tommy Joseph continues to struggle?
2 balls and no strikes. And 2-1.
And that's something that he'll learn. 2-0. He was sitting dead red. He got a look like some sort of breaking ball, 92 mile an hour from Strasburg. And saw Aaron he was trying to tie this thing up.
Again over to the left side. Rendon has it, and he flips to first. 2 outs. And that'll bring Odubel Herrera to the plate. Well, Strasburg has been durable this year innings-wise. He's gotten 7 innings in every start so far. I mentioned during the open, though, they've given him a couple extra days here and there. They've had the luxury of doing that because of the off days. Dusty's gone with only 4 starters at times and then has mixed in the 5th one, whether it be the Ross kid or we saw Guthrie earlier this season. Off the end of the bat, and Rendon has it. Turns out to be a easy ground ball inning for Strasburg. After the 9-pitch at bat to Cesar Hernandez, he throws just 5 more. 1-0 Nationals. MLB.com at-bat mobile app. Stay connected to the game's best players all season long with game day, live game video highlights, radio broadcasts, stats, news, and more. Download MLB.com at-bat today. It's your #1 app for live baseball. Here's Matt Wieters. How about having a 303 hitter bat 8th? That's pretty comfortable.
I wonder why they're first in everything.
0-2. He missed a couple days this week because he had flu-like symptoms. But back here tonight. Boy, he went hunting up top. And that's 3 strikeouts now for Pivetta. Strasburg's coming up. Let's check in with Greg Murphy.
All right, thanks very much, Tom. Well, John, you asked the question in the last half inning that a lot of folks have been asking about Aaron Altair. What's going to happen to Aaron Altair, who has played so well when Howie Kendrick comes back, and Howie is getting close to coming back. He's taking some swings, taking some ground balls and fly balls at different positions. So that question was posed to manager Pete Mackanin today and general manager Matt Klentak, and they both had the same thought. They said, look, when a guy is swinging the bat like Aaron Altair is swinging, you're going to find a spot for him to play. The beauty is that he is a very versatile guy, can play all 3 outfield positions, so they like to try to figure out a way to keep his bat in the lineup. However, Howie Kendrick was swinging a hot bat as well when he ended up on the disabled list. He was batting .333 at the time, and he's another guy that can play a number of positions. So we should not be surprised that when Howie comes back, if he's swinging the bat well, to see him in a couple of different positions as well. He can also play other outfield positions, and he certainly could play a number of different infield positions, first base, second base, third base as well. So that's what they're going to do. Pete Mackanin's going to have to juggle that to see what he's able to, how he's able to get all of these guys who are swinging well into the lineup. And I think both guys were pretty clear. It's a pretty good problem to have when you have a couple of guys swinging the bat well, for sure.
Well, it is a nice problem to have, and the hope is that Howie gets healthy and is back after some rehab starts. As far as Aaron's concerned, Aaron's just enjoying the chance to be here as Strasburg sends one in the air to deep left center field, and it is gone. A solo home run for Steven Strasburg. And it's now 2-0 in favor of the Nationals. He hit one back in 2012. He has shown an ability to hit. Well, he just went down and got that pitch.
Is that a fastball or a changeup? Is it two-seamer? Was he trying to run it in on his hands?
It looked like a fastball.
Yeah, it did. I mean, he swung at it like it was a fastball. Talking about just dropping the head on one.
His second career home run. That gives them 44 home runs. I don't think you expect that. 1-0 pitch to Turner. And it's 2-0. Out to center field, Odubel Herrera. That went 404 feet off the bat of Strasburg. It's listed as a 93-mile-an-hour fastball, so I would think that's the two-seamer.
Yeah, it looked like it was trying to run in on him. And he's flattened out.
It's close to the deepest part of the ballpark.
Oh, good. Oh, yeah, that wasn't a cheapie.
No. And now Jason Worth, who ended an 0 for 11 with his single his first time up. Jason's career numbers with each team he played for. Played in the Orioles organization to start. Started to emerge with the Dodgers, then definitely emerged with the Phillies. He's now in his 7th season with the Nationals.
Really?
Yeah, isn't that amazing?
Wow. And he signed a what, a 7-year deal?
7-year deal. He's a free agent. Yep. Big hop over third for Franco. So the home run by Strasburg has given the Nationals a 2-0 lead. Second career home run. He went down and golfed it out. We've completed 1.5. We go to the bottom of the second. 2-0. Nationals on top. And save money when you combine your home and auto insurance. Talk to an agent today or call 800-STATE-FARM. You could save hundreds when you combine home and auto. State Farm, here to help life go right. Well, with John Kruk and Greg Murphy, I'm Tom McCarthy. And Steven Strasburg will face Michael Franco, Tommy Joseph, and Michael Saunders. Franco with 5 hits against the Cubs. His average up to 231 with 25 RBIs. 10 more than he had at this point last year.
Yeah, the average isn't there, but he is, doing what you want your fourth hitter to do, and that's driving in runs. Could he have a lot more if he was a little more selective? Yes, but sometimes you have to live with what you have,
I just hope that it does get even better because, he's on pace for 100. To it to Franco. 2-1.
Oh, 2-0 lead. That no guarantee from Strasburg you're going to get a fastball. That looked like a changeup, didn't it?
It did.
That had some great late movement.
Popped up over on the first base side. Ryan Zimmerman. And he stammers over to make the catch. And 1 out for Tommy Joseph. By the way, how did your softball team do as we watch this?
Got annihilated. Pretty tough play right there. He had, you talk about outfielders this time of night struggling with balls in the air. It's the same with the infielders. When you're running down the line for one, you can lose it. Zimmerman kept his eye on it. Made a tough play.
Tommy Joseph, the hitter. Tommy has 2 home runs against Strasburg for his career. Part of the reason why he's back in there again. Takes a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. Hitting a $192. And 1-1. So you guys got annihilated?
Yeah, the young lady pitching for the other team just didn't seem like she wanted to give us a chance.
It's very unfair.
Well, she's 6'2".
That's a tall person.
Through mid-60s. something we haven't seen.
And a line drive base hit it to left field for Joseph. A 1-out single. And Michael Saunders is coming up.
He must see the ball really well off Strasburg.
Isn't it amazing though that there's some guys you can see better than others?
You can't answer. Like if you ask Tommy, what do you see off Strasburg that you might not see off Scherzer? You know, of course there's different arm angles and all that, but you know, this can't be a comfortable at bat for a right-handed hitter. But he sees the ball out of his hand, or he gets his release point right off the get-go. And
Michael Saunders hitting .242. He was 5 for 26 on the road trip. 3 of those hits came against the Cubs, including a home run. Two balls and 1 strike.
remember the last series we did here at home in the Mets and the Nationals, how differently the Mets pitched Saunders than the Nationals did. And you saw Strasburg, the first fastball he threw to him was down the middle, but the second one was in off the plate. It's like Wieters wants to go back in there.
If you compare the pitchers the Mets had at that time to the Nationals, so you see where they're throwing to with our pitch cast presented by Mazda. That one kind of leaked over the plate.
Yeah, that's your chance. You know, people say all the time they'll give you one pitch to hit on that bat. The real, a great pitcher. I wonder if that was it right there for Saunders.
Out toward left field, Jason Worth. A few steps from the track, now on the track. There are 2 outs. They're saying that if you compare the pitchers for the Mets and the Nationals, Scherzer, Strasburg to Harvey and Syndergaard, fastballs are the same, right?
Yeah.
But they do pitch them differently. There's Max Scherzer, who the Phillies will not see.
That doesn't stink.
They don't know who they're going to see tomorrow. That's still TBD.
Poor Cameron. If something happens, he gets hit by a pitcher. It's just not his night. He started hitting the ball on the road trip the other way. He's got power to right center.
Two. Well, he's really working up a sweat out there tonight.
Strasburg?
Yeah. He may not seem it with his numbers so far, but that jersey's changing colors. And a changeup in the dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Galvis waits on deck.
He does seem to be working up a nice lather, doesn't he?
He does.
Well, the home run, trot around the bases, and you know it's draining.
There it goes, and a changeup swung on and missed. Now that's the first strikeout for Strasburg. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left. We'll go to the third. Phillies trail at 2-0. Trivia question. Log on to Phillies.com. Go to the fan section for all the information. And please submit your answer on the subject line. All right, John, the question is, what Phillies pitcher earned the win and hit a home run in Game 4 of the 2008 World Series versus the Rays? Answer will be revealed in just a little bit.
I know this one already.
Were you here?
I was covering. Yes.
Right.
I wasn't playing.
No.
That'd have been a heck of a
That
comeback.
would have been really entertaining. Well, you probably could have played if there was a DH like the American League
They
Series.
could have rolled me out to first.
Here's Daniel Murphy. And he takes upstairs. 1 ball, no strikes. Murphy hitting .339. Change up low, and it's 2-0. Nick's having a little difficulty with his secondary pitches tonight. Fastball's lively.
Yeah, and this ain't a team you want that. They can eliminate pitches.
To the right side, Cesar backhands, flips over to first in time. Time now for our State Farm combo. State Farm here to help life go right. And the combination of Murphy and Zimmerman in the last 10 games, they have 34 hits and 80 at-bats. They've also driven in runs, and they've scored some runs.
30 RBIs and 23 runs scored in 10 games.
That's a little productivity. No. Looks like his back elbow is pointed up more, and he's seemingly straight up and down.
Yeah. Remember his hands were higher too, and he like had that big waggle, like, you know, almost the bat would parallel to the ground.
And he takes the 3-0 pitch for a strike. So he came into this game hitting .424, and with his infield hit, he's up to .430. he is 48 points higher than the number 2 hitter in Major League Baseball, and that's Bryce Harper. 3-2.
I think right there's a big difference. I mean, the last couple years, yeah, I don't think Ryan was very sure of himself offensively. He might have swung at that 3-1 pitch right there and got himself out. You know, it's a tough pitch moving away. Take it, and you know, when you're seeing it good, you can do that stuff. There you go.
A wicked pitch, and it's strikeout number 4 for Pivetta. And the putout goes 2-3.
Hard slider right there from Pivetta. Like you said, you know, we talk about it. He hasn't commanded his secondary pitches, and even that wasn't a good one. But you know, coming out of the hand, the difference between a breaking ball and a slider, that looks like a fastball coming out of your hand, and that's why Zimmerman committed to it.
Rendon singled his last time up. Curveball. 1-1.
Let's be nice to finish this inning off 1-2-3.
Phillies have activated Jake Thompson from AAA, and that's to give the bullpen a little bit of a break and have an extra arm over the next couple of days. Opposite way, another base hit for Rendon, and he's 2 for 2.
So much for the unscathed inning.
Yeah.
58 pitches, more than likely he's going to be over 60 by the time this inning ends. And we talk about a call up, he might get a chance in this game.
Yeah, Thompson was activated. Ty Kelly was sent down, so the Phillies have a 4-man bench, which around baseball, that's what everybody seems to be doing, is putting a 4-man bench in play. Outside and high, 1-1. And a line drive over the head of Franco. That's a fair ball off the half wall. Aaron Altair will get to it, and Rendon will stop at third. And it's a double for Taylor. It's his second of the year. Now he needs to make a good pitch to get through Heisey and not allow another run.
It looked like he tried to get around that one. You see how it looked like he, instead of throwing it with conviction, he was aiming it. He aimed that breaking ball and it stayed middle into Taylor, and he hits a double down the line.
It's kind of like that one breaking ball he threw to Rendon that he didn't take, or that he didn't hit, that he took. Heisey playing the outfield tonight for Bryce Harper, who they said was day-to-day. Took him out of yesterday's ball game after he felt something in his groin. Good play by Rupp.
And you know Bryce didn't want to sit out a game here.
He kind of said that. He said they took me out because as a precaution. because they wanted to make sure that I was okay to play in Philly, because you know how I like to play in Philly.
Yeah, well, I don't think there's any player in baseball that plays on the offensive side that doesn't mind coming here.
Two and 0. And a line drive out toward left center field. Odubel Herrera tracks it down. And falls to the ground as if he was a caught fish. And Nick Pivetta will applaud that. Saved some runs. No runs, 2 hits, and 2 men left in scoring position. Odubel Herrera covering a lot of ground out in center field. You buy your local Chevrolet dealers. Last of the third, and Freddie Galvis will lead it off against Steven Strasburg. It's 2-0 in favor of the Nationals. Libby Galvis, Nick Pivetta, and then Cesar Hernandez. One ball, no strikes. Galvis was 2 for 15 against the Cubs. Phillies and the Nationals have split the 6 games so far. Phillies have scored 37 runs during the 6 games.
Yeah, didn't they score
17,
36 of them in the one?
It was a lot. 23 extra base hits, but they have struck out 49 times, counting the one tonight. So it's a good amount. Ball 4. Phillies fans, stream every CSN game with the NBC Sports app. Once it's installed on your device, select your provider, sign in, then choose your games. It's that simple. Watch every Phillies game anywhere with the NBC Sports app. Now, if you had that, that would have helped you along in spring training.
I do have that.
You know what I'm saying? If you had that back when you were trying to do it, Murph wouldn't have had to help you. I mean, that was a walkthrough right there.
Huh. I got bad direction from Murph, didn't I?
No. You know, it's teacher appreciation night tonight.
Wieters makes the basket catch on the bunt by Pivetta.
There's not enough money in the world that'd be a full-time teacher for John Kruk at this point.
You got that right.
You might win that award every single year.
Hey, Murph, you did the best you could.
I did with what I was working with. I agree.
Not a lot.
Murph, did you peel back the layers from Chicago? What, you got one layer on tonight?
Only one layer tonight. I don't even think I need the one layer. It's
very pleasant.
I need one layer, I guess.
Yeah, you do.
Or that would just be.
What are you, Charles Barkley?
Yeah,
Depends on the part.
I just ate, Murph. Come on.
Here's Cesar, grounded out his first time. No balls in one strike.
Fastball hit that hole. Get a first and third working. Hey, what, you got to get him now. His command. I mean, even that pitch to Pivetta was not a strike, but it was. I mean, when you're bunting and someone throws one up at your chest, your natural instinct is to
defend yourself,
block it before it hits you. You end up popping it up, but.
Out toward left field. And there are 2 outs for Aaron Altair. It's kind of the same way I think we all felt in the series against the Cubs. Lester was not sharp. Arrieta wasn't sharp early, but got sharper as the night went on. Lackey was not sharp yesterday. And Brett Anderson was the only game the Phillies won on the trip, so he was noticeably ineffective. Altair grounded out his first time up.
Velocities, and I think that's the Phillies making him work hard. You saw the first batter he faced, Cesar. He threw 198.
Good pitch there. 1-2. It's that slider, which he's thrown more times this year, or I should say less times this year than last year. 10% of the time less this season. Threw it nearly 18% of the time last year. He's thrown it 7% of the time this year. That's back-to-back sliders. 2-2.
That's what I mean. He's trying to find something.
Yep.
And yet, lo and behold, here we are in the bottom of the third. We haven't scored yet, but.
A good pitch there, and he fouled it back. Somebody made a good grab. Atta baby. There we go. Oh, nice catch.
Look at that. He even caught it with the split finger grip.
I do believe that is on the list for fans' plays of the year.
Gotta be. We got the bell.
Yeah. There goes Freddie. The pitch is outside and no throw from Wieters. Second stolen base. Now they'll change up the signs. Did he have that good of a jump that Wieters didn't make the throw?
I think Wieters thought this was a strike.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he got a pretty good jump, but I thought Wieters thought that was strike 3. Just didn't feel like throwing. I mean, Freddie got a good jump. Wieters been around long enough to realize I probably wouldn't have got him anyway.
Well, this could serve my energy.
Yeah, why wait? Why show it off?
Ball 4. So he's walked 2 in the inning. We mentioned he hadn't walked many this year. He had walked 7 in 35 innings of work, so now tack on a couple more. Splits are not what you would expect from him, even though he's got a 2-0 lead and he's allowed just the 1 hit.
Here's where Odubel has to be a little smarter than his first at bat, where he just swung at the first pitch. It looked like a changeup and cued it to Anthony Rendon at third base. He'll double up in there. First pitch fastball in. I can try to go something away and have him chase. Supposed to be away.
It came back. It was in a pretty good spot for Odubel when he fouled it away.
Wasn't quite off speed, but 96. Did he do that a lot last year, Odubel? Like ahead in the count, he gets a fastball and he
Not at this point in the year. As the year went on,
fires
yes.
one over the other team's dugout.
2-1. I think we saw more of those swings in the second half of the season than the first half of the season.
Matt Stairs wearing a watch now, coaching.
A watch/Fitbit. He's counting his steps.
What?
Wearing a Fitbit.
So disappointed in him.
The man is taking care of his physical fitness.
That's just not right.
To the right side, and Daniel Murphy has it. And the Phils leave a couple here in the third. They get 2 walks and leave 2. We played our first 3 innings here at Citizens Bank Park, and the Nationals lead the Phillies 2-0. your business, including an amazing selection of quality Boardwalk products that deliver bottom line savings. Call and order by 11:30 and get your order the same day. Who but WB Mason? Top of the 4th inning, and Nick Pivetta back to work. And we kind of alluded to this in the 3rd. He kind of needs a clean inning here to get back on the rails. Matt Wieters, Steven Strasburg, Trey Turner are the scheduled hitters.
So good. Another great catch.
I don't know if we have enough room on the hard drive.
Bell might be going off a bunch tonight.
Here we go. Ooh. Bobble's okay.
Stuck with it.
Inside 3-2. Here's Strasburg on deck. No walk in the park tonight. A liner out towards center field. Odubel Herrera will be there, and he makes the catch. 1 out. Steven Strasburg's coming up. Let's check it with Greg Murphy, who's with some special guests.
I am, Tom, because tomorrow night is a special night here at the ballpark. As you know, it is Comcast Fanatic About Reading Night, which means all fans 14 and under are going to get the Fanatics' new book. It's called Philly Fanatic Best Rain Delay Ever. Every kid 14 and under that comes into the ballpark going to get the new book. It's very exciting. It's the 15th book in the series. Let me invite my buddies up here. This is Brandon and Justin. So, Brandon, I was talking to you earlier. What do you think about reading? You like to read?
I love to read.
He loves to read. Well, guess what? I have a good friend of mine right here who would like to join us, and he has a gift for you. This is Brandon, Fanatic, and this is Justin right here. And he wants to make you the first kid in the Delaware Valley, right, with your new book. It's a good book, isn't it, Fanatic? Would you like the book? There you go. All right. And you're excited about tomorrow night, right? Are you excited about Fanatic About Reading? You love to read, right? Did you hear what Brandon said when I asked him if he liked to read? What did you say?
I love to read.
How does that make you feel, Fanatic? Oh, here you go. And Fanatic, I'm over here. We should remind folks that tomorrow you can come and you're going to get a coupon, right? And if you get the coupon and you go into the store, you can buy other books in the series for a good price, right? Was this all your idea? He's an author and a man of few words. Brandon, you were an excellent interview. Fanatic, you're always terrific. So that's tomorrow night if you come down to the ballpark. So hopefully you enjoy it. First book, you got it, Brandon. All right, share it with your brother. Guys?
All right, Murph, thank you. As Trey Turner is hit by a pitch, we have all the books up here in the booth. The 15. We've got the Fanatics Friendly Games. Fanatics Galapagos Islands Adventure.
Watch the food.
Watch the food. We got the Fanatics Fantastic Journey. All of this compliments of Tom Burgoyne, the best friend of the Fanatic, and Len Epstein, who is the illustrator. This is the one for this year. Best rain delay ever.
How did you get it? I did.
Here you go.
I can't read. Maybe that's why.
Get some hardcover books. We got them all. But these are the books that Murph's talking about that you can use for the coupon. Over the years, we've amassed all of them. This is our snacks for in between innings. We got some crab cakes and some ribs from the cool folks at Aramark from down in the Diamond Club.
It's not all about research, is it?
It is not. We need to eat to read. So come on out to the ballpark tomorrow night.
Has there ever been a best rain delay, though?
I guess we'll find out.
like if you're a player or even as announcers,
Here are all the books, and all illustrated by Len Epstein. Fanatic with the Galapagos gang. As Worth takes a changeup outside.
hey, who'd have thought all those years ago when Bill Giles said we're going to have a green guy in a costume?
Showed up at the vet one day and everybody said, what the heck is that?
But you know, now it's not a green guy in a costume. It's the green guy.
Yeah. He's got his own line. Got his own clothing line. He's got some books. Fanatic addict. Got some kids' clothes.
Oh, say who could wear them? He's rather round.
Well, I mean, maybe you or me.
Yeah, that'll be our shirts for next game. Borrow the Fanatics jersey.
Well, to throw over to first base.
How did Turner get on? I wasn't paying attention.
He was hit by a pitch. A little graze. Turner has stolen 6 bags so far. He's has yet to be caught. Ground ball to third. Franco's up with it. Better hurry. And he does in time. 5-4 on the putout. Fielder's choice for Jason Worth. Middle of the 4th inning. Phil's still trailing 2-0. Or visit jefferson.edu and buy your local Ford store. Check out every new Ford car, truck, and SUV crossover at buyfordnow.com today. Well, there it is. Tomorrow's giveaway, the best rain delay ever. Forgot about the adventures of Super Fanatic Man. Home half of the 4th inning. Michael Franco, Tommy Joseph, and Michael Saunders.
Did I miss the Fanatic's birthday?
Yeah, you did miss it. You missed the trampoline act out behind second base.
How was that?
It was actually very good. The funniest part was when he was dangling from the top of the platform and they dropped him onto the trampoline.
The Fanatic?
Yeah.
Did he bounce?
Oh, he bounced. He didn't bounce as high as you would probably want him to, but he bounced. 1 ball and 1 strike. There's a strike, 1 and 2. It was pretty good, though. I mean, the folks that were here were entertained by it, but these guys were. Whew. They were getting up there. One of the guys that participated is going to be in the Olympics. I'm not sure in what form.
Do they have a trampoline event in the Olympics now?
I do not know. I don't know. There must be something to do with trampolining. Off the plate, out towards short. Turner allows it to go off his glove and trickle toward the edge of the outfield grass. He has not made an error this year, and we'll see how they score it, or how it is scored. When you weren't here, Johnny, this is what you missed. Here we go. Dangling. Phoebe was a little concerned.
Happy birthday gets pushed off a ledge.
He got up there confidently. Once he got up, he was a little concerned. That has scored a base hit, by the way. All right, and I've just been told by our research department downstairs that trampolining is an Olympic sport.
They have nothing better to do down there, do they?
1 ball and no strikes to Joseph. Broke his bat, popped it up. And Zimmerman. One gone here in the 4th. And here's Michael Saunders.
I have people all the time, they say, yeah, we hear you guys say, yeah, down in the truck down there. He goes, who's down there and what do they do? Well, now we know.
They do a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that part of it? Looking up research for the Olympics? They get a bell for that?
Yeah. They got it right.
Oh,
they have the ability to build their confidence also. 1 ball and no strikes. They're in control of the bell, so they can ring whatever they want to. Gas inside right there, 96.
This is different team, different strategy, but this is a lot of teams, a lot of pitchers are pitching Michael Saunders.
I don't think the Cubs did it that way. I thought the Cubs were straight, you know, not outside, not inside predominantly.
Just throw it down the middle.
Well, they mixed it up.
That ain't a good sign. You never want to be that guy when they go to the scouting report and says, yeah, just don't walk him. Throw whatever you want. Just don't walk him.
Out towards center field. Michael Taylor on the run toward the track, reaches up, and it's off his glove. Franco had a hold up, so he'll go to third base and stop there. That's the second time that's happened to him in these last few games. It's all he could do, and it's second and third with 1 man down. This ball carried.
Yeah, the hanging breaking ball didn't get that bite that Wieters or Strasburg wanted. Yeah, it carried. I think might be lucky it hit his glove, but you know, this is all Franco can do on this play. He goes to second base, he stands there and waits. You know, Taylor catches it, he throws it, you know, might have a play at first if he goes around second base. That's all he can do.
Well, it has been scored a double.
That's where you got to make contact if you're Cameron Rupp.
They're giving him a run. He takes a strike, 0-1. Yeah, Franco had a similar play in Chicago the other day on a ball hit by Brock Stassi to right center field, where he was sort of dancing halfway between first and second. This time he went a little farther towards second base.
Yeah, no, he did everything he could.
Yeah.
And you know, it wasn't like Taylor was running full speed back to the wall and the ball caromed away from him. And once that ball missed his glove and hit the wall, he was right there. Here's where the battle. Whatever you can, make this a one-run game. No one up in the Phillies bullpen. You wonder if they'll even pitch to Freddie if Cameron doesn't get the job done here.
.95-mile-an-hour fastball. Cam is struck out for the second time. A reminder, the Phillies will play the Mariners later on in this homestand, and Carlos Ruiz will make his return to Philadelphia as part of the Mariners. He's their backup catcher Tuesday and Wednesday. Tuesday 7:05. Wednesday is a 1:05 Citizens Bank business person special. Tickets can be purchased by going to Phillies.com. And just what you had mentioned, John, they'll intentionally walk Freddie Galvis, and now Nick Pivetta will bat with the bases loaded. Franco at third, Saunders at second, Galvis at first. Pivetta 4 for 22 during his minor league career, which includes time with the Nationals. And a 1-ball, no strike count. I'm surprised they threw him a curveball there.
Yeah, apparently the scouting report is he's a good first ball fastball hitter. And I'm thinking after that approach, they might have got the wrong scouting report. Maybe he's not a good second pitch fastball hitter. How nervous you think he is? I mean, he's
gotta have jelly legs.
He's jumping all over the place.
Good time for his first major league hit right here.
How about a big one? Hey, Strasburg took you deep. Return the favor. Of course, his curveball could have something to do with it. See how he took that? He took that like, you know, I've seen 6 pitches in the big leagues now. I know what I'm doing. Probably better than having to bunt off of him.
Got him. 95-mile-an-hour heater. 3 strikeouts for Strasburg, and the Phillies leave him loaded here in the 4th inning. No runs, 2 hits, and 3 men left. We'll play the 5th inning when we come back. On the San Francisco Giants, it's a 4:05 start. You're going to want to stick around after the game. The Avett Brothers will perform. It is a free post-game concert. Their Grammy-nominated band. Your game ticket is your concert ticket. So go to Phillies.com/the Avett Brothers right now. Daniel Murphy leads it off and takes a pitch on the outside corner. Murphy is 1 for 2. How about this? Since the postseason, where he just went off with home run after home run after home run, his average is 343. Now that's the 2 years with the Nationals and the postseason. 57 home runs and 110 runs scored, counting this year, last year, and that postseason. But he was a good player, no question.
Yeah.
Doubles hitter, got on base a lot, but was hitting 283, 284, which was fine. But that postseason, that sort of changed some things for him in some way.
He changed. He changed. Kevin Long, who was longtime hitting coach of the Yankees and then ended up with the Mets, he, moved closer to the plate, no stride, just weight transfer and explode on the ball. And from what I've read about Daniel Murphy, he's a big launch angle guy. So he changed the path of his swing to where he's trying to lift the ball more.
I would have to think that's difficult to do.
I mean, that's a pitch up that he swung up on. Most of the time, a pitch up, you try to get on top of it.
That one goes all the way back to the brick wall. But for doing it for as many years as he did, I mean, from a muscle memory standpoint, to switch it, I guess it's like guys just switching their stance all the time.
It's like Tiger Woods in golf. How many times he changed his swing? He was still really good. Took him a while, but I mean, it didn't take Murphy a long time to get what they were trying to do. What eventually became this.
It's made him a lot of money. It's going to make him a lot more money too.
Yeah.
3 balls, 2 strikes to Murphy. And Cameron Rupp got it again. Greg Gibson is thinking, really? The other shoulder.
Greg Gibson's feeling sorry for him, but deep down he's saying, better you than me. That's a big, strong hombre back there behind the plate, Cameron Rupp.
Out to right center field. That's a pretty good changeup by Pivetta. And Odubel Herrera calls off Saunders at the last moment. There they are, Johnny, flipping out. That was the best part right there, that guy. I think that might be the guy that is the Olympian. He looks like an Olympian in trampolining.
What would one Olympian trampoliner look like?
The guy that goes the highest. Silverman takes up and in, 1-0.
You ever seen that trampoline basketball?
Yes.
That's some interesting stuff.
It's got to be somewhat tiring too. Have you done it? Oh, I'm just wondering.
No. I don't participate in sports anymore.
Out to right center field. That's well hit. Odubel Herrera is going back, and that one is gone.
Good Lord.
12th home run of the year, 31st RBI. And it's now 3-0 Nationals. That was a 2-0 pitch that he did not miss.
Well, he's always had that power the other way. And that, the big difference, the foot's getting down, his bat's not coiled around his head when he starts to swing, so his bat's quicker this year than it was the last few years. Why don't Cameron just jump in an old ice tub right now?
Yeah, he's going to be busy later on. There's Jake Thompson warming up in the bullpen. That one's hit well also. Odubel back toward the scoreboard, and it is gone. Back-to-back home runs for Zimmerman and Rendon. Third solo home run allowed tonight by Pivetta. 4-0 Nationals. Both opposite field shots, and Rendon is 3 for 3. And Max going out to the mound.
An elevated fastball out over the plate. You mentioned the ranks that this team came into this game with, first in just about every offensive category in the National League. And it's not because you're not first in a bunch of these things by missing those pitches.
Those are 2 shots too. That one's 390 feet. Pivetta's given up the 3 solo home runs. Zimmerman with his 31 RBIs in 29 games. He's the 3rd player in franchise history to have 30 or more RBIs in the team's first 28. Vladimir Guerrero and Henry Rodriguez. So Vlad did it when they were with the Expos, as did Rodriguez. The other thing about Zimmerman and Rendon, this combination, is that they're both red hot. Oh, you could add Murphy into it. All 3 of them are red hot at the same time.
And Bryce Harper's 2nd in the league in hitting.
Getting the night off.
He might be thinking, not a wise move. Sure, he would have joined in on the party at some point today.
Balls, 2 strikes. Tonight's game is also available in Spanish. Just use the SAP button on your television or change the language through the menu on your cable box. Michael Taylor went around, says Greg Gibson. And 2 outs, 5 strikeouts for Pivetta.
And as bad as it sounds, it's still only 4-0.
Right.
And Strasburg's had to work hard in some innings.
And it's a bullpen that's given up some runs this year. Izzy is 0 for 2, a fielder's choice and a line out. Well, that's one of the better breaking pitches he's thrown tonight.
Izzy looks confused at the plate, but yeah, that's a good one. That's a sharp knee-high fastball that falls down in the dirt.
Back-to-back strikeouts.
What you're seeing as a hitter.
Yep. 6 strikeouts for Pivetta. His night is most likely done. He's allowed 4 runs, 3 solo home runs. We'll head to the bottom of the fifth. Minor league report. Citizens Bank, the official bank of the Phils. Visit citizensbank.com. And our players of the month, Rhys Hoskins is the player of the month. A .338 average with 6 home runs. Ranger Suarez was 1-0 with a 0.81 ERA. And he was the pitcher of the month. And Scott Kingery, who just turned 23 the other day, he is the defender of the month. Hoskins really has had a great start to the season. And Matt Klentak said today, when folks asked about his progress, he said, you know, this is the first time he's been at AAA. Let's let him keep seasoning down in AAA. But they're very happy with the way he has started the year. I think they're happiest that he's using the entire field.
Yeah, we saw that in spring training. Hit a couple balls in the games we were doing the other way for home runs.
1 ball, 1 strike to Cesar, and he fouls it back.
Yeah, that's it. That's the toughest part. You know, when do you bring him up? When do you keep him there? Because you think at some point he's going to struggle, but then you're thinking, man, he's swinging it so good. How would you like to have that here? I mean, me as a fan, I want to see it here.
Oh, absolutely.
But you know, I understand where the Phillies front office is coming from. You know, you don't want your first bit of failure to be here.
Sometimes it's hard to overcome it psychologically. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Cesar. And he fouls it off to the left.
That hit a lot of things and it's still not going to be a souvenir.
Sure did. Ground ball back toward the middle. Murphy gets to it and then flips it to first. Not in time. An infield hit for Cesar Hernandez. He's now hit it 9 straight against the Nationals. Murphy did a nice job getting to that ball and making a play on it.
Yeah, really good play. And he's not noted for defense. We all know that, but I mean, he gets to this ball pretty quick. So yeah, one little shuffle step he took toward his left might have cost him in on that play to get Cesar. But here we go. Here's our start.
Good slider, and it's 0-1. Somebody who doesn't throw it that often. He's thrown it a lot tonight.
Slide step 95. Hello.
And he gets Altair, strikeout number 4. Well, we know that Strasburg has changed his mechanics from last year to this year.
Well, from this season.
Yep.
Early in the season. Now here he is with Michael Saunders hitting, runner on first. Well, watch when Strasburg gets set. Watch. He's set. His foot hasn't moved yet. Then he resets. That's a balk. Or if you're on first base, you can take off once he lifts his arms up for the second reset. Now he's. After this pitch, we're going to show you what he's doing now. Now you watch how he has his glove down by his waist, but watch as soon as he gets this hand, reaches in for the ball right here, the foot moves with it. So now there's only one set. Now you have to stay as a runner. And Pete Mackanin, you know, even in Washington in that series, he went to the umpires and asked about it. You know, there was no great explanation, but that is a balk. And you know, obviously someone has told Strasburg, you know, hey, you need to change because they're just going to keep running.
And if you turned and started to fire to first, it would be a balk.
It's a balk.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it seems like a subtle change,
It's
but to a
very
pitcher,
subtle.
oof, it's hard to make changes if you're a pitcher.
Especially midstream. I guess it's like some of these pitchers, it's like a whole winter's worth of work. Oh, I have to point my big toe laterally. Okay. Oh, I better wait till November to start that one.
1 ball and 1 strike to Herrera. Inside 2-1.
We've heard that from hitting coaches. Yeah, we don't want to change him now. We're going to wait till the offseason. Wait, you just going to let him stink the whole season?
Hey, hitters change. They've changed their entire lives. Well, those aren't Tim Hudson numbers, but they're close. Hudson had one of those runs where, given 3 runs or 4 runs or more, he was lights out for the Braves. I think Odubel felt like he missed that pitch.
Yeah, and I don't know if Mr. Strasburg took too kindly to it. He kind of looked in, shook his head at him, unless he was shaking his head at the location of the pitch.
High chopper out towards second, and Murphy flips to second for 1. And that's all they'll get.
I mean, that was executed by Murphy, but I guarantee you Dusty Baker, like, okay, Odubel can run. That's a chopper off the plate, it looked like. You're never going to turn a double play, and you flip it with your glove.
You're not careful, you're going to flip it right over the head of the guy at second base.
But, I mean, he executed it, but, I mean, watch this. I mean, there's no way you're turning a double play. I mean, you could easily hold on to that too long and flip it over Turner's head, or flip it so he's off the base.
Reaches out and pops into shallow right center field. And Michael Taylor, no runs, 1 hit, 1 man left for the Phils. They go down quietly here in the 5th inning. Well, the bullpen door is swinging open for Jake Thompson when we come back. Level as before his injury 13 months ago. Aaron has stepped up when called to step into the starting lineup. He is batting well above 300 through his first 21 games, and his on-base percentage is at a red-hot .412. Many tools of the Phil's 6'5" outfielder have been on display. Speed is definitely a part of his offensive and defensive game. He is delivering results in a very convincing fashion. And it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. 4-0 as we go to the top of the 6th inning. Aaron Altair and the rest of the Phils somewhat quieted tonight by Steven Strasburg. And those folks who are peeking into the bullpen as the Nationals have kept quiet, but the Phillies had Jake Thompson warming up, and here comes Jake Thompson, who will take over for Nick Pivetta. Nick went 5 innings, allowed 9 hits and 4 earned runs. No walks, 6 strikeouts. And now Thompson, a 6.65 ERA. But that ERA is going down, or had been going down when he was promoted. As Pivetta will watch his former AAA teammate. Thompson recently had outings where he put together a 0.98 ERA. He delivers the first pitch low to Wieters, and it's 1-0. Thompson now 23 years old, and Wieters lifts it out toward left. Phillies fans, if you checked out CSN Podcast, catch up on all the insider info with the Cruckcast at the Yard and many more. Bring your love for Philly sports with you wherever you go. Listen and download on Autoboom, iTunes, Google Play, and of course, CSNPhilly.com. Have you done podcast number 2 yet?
I have not. I'm sure we'll get to that this homestand.
What are your you have any ideas what you want to do?
You know, I mean, I could spend hours on Murph. I mean, just, you know. But no, I don't know. You know what? That's I've been so dialed into other things. I need to start focusing on this. I'm sure Larry Anderson will give me some assistance.
Can't do softball, right?
No, done.
Done with softball.
Yeah.
Check that off your list.
It's out of my mind right now.
What about cheesesteaks? You can talk about cheesesteaks.
I have to get some samples.
2-1 pitch to Strasburg.
I have to go do my research.
It's all in a name, Johnny. It's all in a name.
Shoot. And the next podcast could be a kielbasa. You know, sticking to my Polish roots.
Yeah. 3-2 to Strasburg. Why don't you do a podcast with Larry Boa? That'd be entertaining.
Wow.
Go from your San Diego days together and how it evolved into a great baseball relationship.
Loving relationship.
2 outs. And Strasburg goes down looking.
Yeah, the thing with Larry, you know, we might get into this, but when he was coaching with the Dodgers, apparently he didn't understand that there's a 3-hour time difference. Did you see what that guy did? Did you see? Like, you know, 1 in the morning.
Yeah.
Hey, Larry, I'm sleeping.
He needed to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
Trey Turner 0 for 2 with a hit batsman.
He never fails. Thanksgiving, Christmas, always sends a nice text message.
Towering pop-up. Galvis and Franco are over toward the railing, and it's out of play. And 1 ball, 1 strike. There's a happy camper. Good pitch, 1-2. Jake last year with the Phillies was 3-6 with a 5.70 earned run average. That ball just evaporated. Back-to-back strikeouts for Thompson.
Very impressive.
A 1-2-3 6th inning. Well, the ball was moving for Jake Thompson in this inning. A changeup. Missed the bat of Trey Turner, and we'll head to the bottom of the 6th. To you by WB Mason. Who bought WB Mason for fast free delivery? Nobody does it better. And by Toyota. Find your favorite model today. Toyota. Let's go places.
Whoa.
All else fails, you go back to the grill.
I don't think there's a better smell than onions frying.
Well, that's funny that you say that, because as we arrived at Wrigley Field yesterday, as Tommy Joseph leads it off, and it's 0-1. Murph, what was the first thing you said when we arrived at Wrigley Field yesterday?
I said, I don't think there's a better smell than onions frying. That's exactly what I said. It's the truth.
Murph.
Yeah.
We could be related.
We're like kindred spirits.
We are.
Everything looks the same physically between the two of you.
Well, let's not go there, but
it is the best smell, and it's a ballpark smell for sure.
1 ball and 1 strike to Tommy Joseph. 1-2, change up.
Wouldn't you think like those candles, scented candles, they can have a grilled onions candle?
Wow.
Oh.
I think you've gotten onto something
fire
there.
that up in the house.
The problem is you'd be hungry all the time at that point. It would smell good, but
Well, they say if you own a restaurant, you're supposed to have like vanilla in your vents, like There's something about the smell of vanilla.
Well, you would know.
Yeah, but I'd rather have the onions.
No. I was going to say,
people look at me and they think,
vanilla.
French vanilla.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Joseph. And he fouls it away. It remains 2-2.
Want some fried onions? No, how about a little vanilla extract?
I think you're onto something, though. I mean,
I think so.
You are an entrepreneur now in your second life, so that's something that you can now dive into.
Grilled onion scented candle.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
you could sell it at your stores.
Would Murph? You'd have one of those in your kitchen, wouldn't you?
I would.
There's a liner out to left, and it'll stay up for Jason Worth. And 1 out here in the 6th inning. Tommy Joseph nailed that one. And Michael Saunders is coming up. Telling you, he sells T-shirts for your cheesesteaks and then candles on the same shelf.
Yeah.
Saunders takes a breaking ball, 0-1.
Go to my wax maker. Tell him to start putting some scents together for me.
Do some trial versions.
Yep.
Folks at Yankee Candle are getting back to the lab right now as we speak. 1-1. Good breaking pitch again, 1-2. That was the curveball from Strasburg.
Yeah, we talked about it pretty much the whole game. His command isn't as good as what we've seen.
But he's got stuff.
Still a bunch of zeros on the board.
He's got stuff.
That's the thing. Stuff can get you out of a lot of things. 100 pitches, 1 out in the 6th. You would think, okay, we can live with that, but they ain't scored.
I think he had an outing earlier this year with the Phillies where we thought he was done after 6 innings because he had reached around 100 pitches, but then he climbed back out to start the 7th and finish the 7th. Back toward the middle, knocked down by Strasburg. Saunders runs fairly well, and he's able to beat it. And he is 2 for 3. I think Strasburg thought he might have had him.
Oh, I don't know if he think he had him or he hurt his neck. Watch when he falls right here. Oh, you didn't see it. It looked like a little whiplash action.
Mike Maddox was up on the top step thinking he had a.
See that?
Yep.
Little whip.
That didn't help when he slammed himself down on the ground, too.
Could have been any number of injuries. Could have had 2 or 3 different injuries on that one play.
Off the end of the bat, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike to Rupp. Cameron's gone to a different bat for this AB. He struck out his first 2 times up. The last one was the costliest because there were runners on 2nd and 3rd with 1 out in what was a 2-0 game at the time.
feeling this could be it for Strasburg.
I think so too.
Breathing heavy. And we talked about the first inning. His velocity 97, 98 a few times.
Zimmerman and Wieters both coming out.
I think this is right. Zimmerman just trying to slow Strasburg up a little bit. Looked like he was getting a rush for everything. What was that? What was Dusty just eating there? Is that an orange or a tomato or something? Tomato would be classic.
I didn't see it. I was looking at Mike Maddox to see what he was trying to get somebody up. With a foul ball. And Mike Maddox going out. Strasburg did something either on the last pitch or when he fell to try to throw out Saunders.
Calf. Read his lips. He said calf.
Yeah.
Like look, he's stretching it out now. I think he got a cramp. Well, you talked about it early, T-Mac, about how how profusely he was sweating. It is a little bit muggy.
It's like Dusty's asking him if he's okay. He said he's okay. Two pitches ago. Starts to hit that back of that calf with his glove. And now the last pitch. That's when Zimmerman went over.
Yeah, I feel real comfortable for Cameron Rupp right now.
Enjoying it?
Yeah, it looked like it. Don't be afraid to share.
Outside, and he tries to.
He jumped again.
Yeah, brace himself. You got to be careful if it's a cramp. If it's beyond that.
Guy with history arm troubles too. He might have to try to change his delivery to feel like what he has to do to throw a strike here is.
Well, they now start getting somebody up in the bullpen. And Rupper's battling here. He fouls another one off. Blake Trinan, who was the closer at the start of this year, is warming up in the pen. He's at 111 pitches. Ball 4. And that'll put runners on first and second. Freddie Galvis is due up. A 10-pitch at bat from Cameron Rupp.
And now the stall tactics come into play. Anthony Rendon came in and didn't even speak to Strasburg. He just walked in and stood on the mound while Strasburg walked behind him.
A little bit of rain falling now.
Oh, special. Come on, Freddie. Jump one early.
Freddie has walked twice, once intentionally. Stassi's out in the on deck circle. You surprised they're letting him pitch?
I'm very much so, yes. I mean, after that pitch, he tried to get on the slope of the mound to stretch that calf muscle, and he's shaking it out. I mean, you wonder if there's. You wonder now if, like, maybe his hamstring's starting to cramp up too. That'd be all they need to.
That's what I'm thinking.
Have something happen injury-wise to something other than the calf.
Freddie gets that one foul over the target. I mean, just look at the Mets and all the issues they've had with their starters. I mean, they've lost one after another at some point already this year. All right, so Mike Maddox on the phone to make sure that Trinan's ready.
Do we have a microphone down there in the catcher's glove?
No, it's pretty crisp tonight, isn't it?
Seems like everyone down there is throwing 197.
The base runners at first and second. Freddie slaps it again the other way, and again it's foul. Ooh, a quick pitch. And there are 2 outs. Strikeout number 5 for Strasburg. And here comes Dusty Baker. All right, so Dusty Baker's coming out. That's going to be at 119 pitches for Strasburg. And they'll bring in the right-hander Trinan to face Brock Stassi. So it'll remain a right-hander. The 119 pitches will tie the career high for Strasburg. So a pitching change here in the 6th inning. Dusty with a few words of advice for Strasburg.
Dusty can impart some wisdom. Been through a lot.
So Trident's coming in, a pitching change. The Phils have 2 runners on here in the bottom of the 6th. Quiz answer. All right, Johnny, here we go. What Phillies pitcher earned the win and hit a home run in Game 4 of the 08 World Series versus the Rays?
Big Joe.
Big Joe Blanton. That is correct. Log back on to Phillies.com to find out if you're the winner of a Phillies prize pack. A couple of the Nationals broadcasters were amazed that Blanton got cheered as loud as he did the last time he was at Citizens Bank Park, and somebody said, well, he did hit a home run in the World Series. And it was a big part of the Phil's 08 championship.
He really was, and a good person. You know, they only boo the people that leave here that make comments.
Well, there is something to that. Like Ruiz when he comes back Tuesday.
He'll get cheered.
Yep.
Chase cheered.
Stassi loops one out toward right center field on the first pitch, and Michael Tower will make the catch. So Trinan throws one pitch and gets Strasburg out of the 6th inning. No runs, 1 hit, and 2 men left. Time now for your Delaware Valley Honda Dealers game summary. 4 runs for the Nationals on 3 solo home runs, and then a base hit in the first inning. Anthony Rendon 3 for 3 with 2 RBIs. Strasburg goes 5 2/3, allows 5 hits, walks 4, 119 pitches before he was done. Pivetta went 5, allowed 4 earned runs. Michael Saunders has a couple hits. Jake Thompson pitched the scoreless 6th inning, and now Adebray Ramos will pitch the 7th inning. On this Cinco de Mayo, which is better known around here as the day before Larry Anderson's birthday.
Big birthday for Larry. 80? What?
I think 80.
Yeah.
1 ball, no strikes.
Doesn't look a day over 79.5.
It's all that granola.
He is a very healthy human.
Would you ever thought you would say that when he played?
No.
Check swing, 2-0.
I'm having trouble saying it now.
It doesn't roll off the tongue.
No.
Phillies fans used to go to Chicago just because they wanted to go out with Larry. 2 balls and 1 strike, a lot of them anyway.
Now he just old homebody, isn't he?
Yep. Jason Worth singled and scored in the first inning, grounded out, and
you realize a candle doesn't last as long when it's burnt from both ends.
Took him a long time to realize that.
Yeah.
2-2.
Murphy does that when Jason, like if he has pine tar on his glove, if it ever gets stuck to that hair when he puts it behind his ear.
Ground ball back toward the middle, a base hit. So he is 2 for 4. Every time the Phillies pitchers retire, the opposition 1-2-3, which Jake Thompson did in the 6th inning. Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV.
You remember the series here when he looked like every pitch he was looking breaking ball?
Yes.
Now today he's swinging at the fastball.
Do you think that's because he's seeing the ball better, or does he just change his approach just because he thinks they're going to throw it differently to him?
I think he's outthinking some of the pitching.
Murphy is 1 for 3. I think he is in that category. You know, when he was here, and particularly when Stairs came over too, you know, they would be able to pick apart a pitcher and his game plan rather quickly. Nobody was better than Chase at that. As Herrera makes the catch. Well, time now for our Toyota turning point, and it's Ryan Zimmerman and Anthony Rendon.
And that followed the inning where the Phillies had second and third, one out, and didn't get a run in. And you know, the great teams make you pay for not capitalizing. And Zimmerman with the home run, and then Anthony Rendon, same direction, just maybe a row or two short of where Zimmerman hit his. But that was the Toyota turning point of the game.
Now, they haven't looked back.
Turning points.
Turning points of the game.
More than one is points.
I thought where Zimmerman, the fact he came in hitting at 424, I said, well, you know, after more than a month of the season, how many people have done that? Well, actually, this is the 3rd time in 4 years that somebody's hit this high after a month and a half. I thought it was unheard of.
What didn't Murphy do it last year?
Murphy was at like 370. Castellanos was at 385. He was the high point at this point. The year before, D. Gordon was hitting 422. Now, we found out later in the year why he was hitting 422. And Tulowitzki the year before was at 424 at this point in the season. But yeah, Murphy was among the leaders last year. Harper was too. And then he tailed off. Outside, 2-1. I think you got to be leery about pitching him out over the plate like they did the last time.
Yeah, but if he guesses right in.
There's a liner to center field. Odubel jumps up, and it's off his glove. He'll get it back in quickly, but the runners will go to second and third. And that is the 3rd hit of the night for Zimmerman. And that's 11 doubles.
Now, this ball was just scorched. I mean, Duke was lucky he got his glove on. If he don't get the glove on it, Worth scores easy.
He almost caught it after he misjudged it.
Oh, here we go. Walk Rendon.
So Rendon's been on 4 straight times tonight. Not going to allow him to get to his 6 for 6 again.
We're 10 RBIs.
Michael Taylor. So Worth is over at third base. Zimmerman at second, Rendon at first. Michael Taylor is speedy, so you got to make it quick if you're going to try to turn two. But as John mentioned before, you can get him out on strikes, which is what Pivetta did in the 5th inning.
He also has got some pop in his bat too, which you got to be leery of.
The rain is picked up once again.
It's an eerie rain.
It is. It's like a haunted house rain. I mean, it was pouring before, earlier.
Yeah, Schmitty and I took the Knuckleball Express into Philly today. That baby was all over. Now, I'm not a great flyer anyway.
And they warn you, but it doesn't really make any difference if they warn you.
No. Thing was, it was pouring in Florida this morning at 4:30 when I left for the airport. So now I'm sitting on a plane, scared to death, bouncing all around, and my shirt's soaked. Very uncomfortable.
Would you ride your bike to the airport?
No, but I had to walk from where you parked to get into the terminal.
Swing and a miss. He got it with a breaking ball. 2 outs. Yeah, you can see yourself through this by getting Heisey.
Yeah, Heisey struggling. This is, I mean, that's like a ball when it left his hand. That just tells you he's not, Michael Taylor's just, he's not seeing it, or he's guessing really wrong. Like you can guess pitches, but when you start guessing ball and strike, like he's going to throw me a strike here, so I'm swinging. That's what that looked like. We talked about Heisey struggling, but you know, he's a veteran hitter. You put him in a hitter's count, you better make a good pitch here, 2-0.
Opposite way. Here comes Saunders, and he slides and makes the grab, and the inning is over. So Ramos gets into a little trouble, works himself out of it. A little help from his friends as Heisey hit a little bloop out toward right, and Michael Saunders able to read it perfectly and put it away for the final outs. Time to stretch here in Philadelphia. The Phils looking for some offense. Nationals, it's StubHub Mother's Appreciation Day. It's a 2:35 first pitch. That's because of the Broad Street run. Go to Phillies.com to purchase your tickets, and all ladies will get the crossbody tote bag if you're 15 and older. Bottom of the 7th inning, Trinan will face the top of the order, Cesar Hernandez, who is leading it off for the 3rd time tonight. And he bunts at it and misses. Cesar thought he took the bat head. Oh, he called it a strike. Greg Gibson says he called it a strike. Actually looked like a pretty good pitch.
Another pretty good pitch. Started the belt, bring it back over the inside corner.
At a breaking ball, 3 pitches and 1 out here in the 7th inning. Yeah, this has not been the strongest part of the Nationals squad, but this sequence is pretty good.
96 down and away, 97 up and in. It looked like a 2-seamer at 97. It ran back over, and then the slider down at the back foot of Cesar. Not a whole lot you can do, but you know, this is why this guy was their closer on opening day. The stuff is there. It's the execution, and he executed perfectly there.
Yeah, Pete talked about that today at the meeting. Not necessarily about Trinan, just, you know, there are guys that just cannot close for whatever reason. I don't think anybody's ever been able to explain it where 100% of the people are convinced as to why it is. 0-2. I mean, you know, there's a different mindset.
Maverick closers say that, you know, when that fence, the gate on the fence closes, there's no one coming in behind you.
0-2 to Altair. But the 9th inning is a different animal. They even say that for umpires. You know, it's a different animal for them. You know, the intensity level is so much higher. Opposite way, and a base hit for Altair. So that's his first hit of the night. It's his 8th hit in the last 5 games. And Odubel's coming up. Out toward right center field. Worth got a late start. He's not going to get it. It's going to go to the wall. Altair around third already. On his way home, he'll score. RBI double for Odubel Herrera. The Phils are on the board. It's a 4-1 game. Well, get it to the point where you can bring the tying run to the plate.
Talk about how he executed against Cesar Hernandez. That's not a bad pitch. It's down and, you know, line drive in the gap. Deserves a bad flip, and RBI double for Odubel. But yeah, that wasn't a bad pitch right there by Trinan. Just a better piece of hit by Odubel Herrera.
7th double of the year for Odubel. Bullpen for the Nationals, 27th in baseball. An ERA 5.40.
Wouldn't mind seeing this be a 1-run game after this pitch.
Well, he was trying to acknowledge it. As bad as the Phillies bullpen has been, Phillies bullpen is 18th. I mean, think about what 27th in the league is like. And they're in first place.
Oh. They got a great starting staff.
Score a lot of runs.
And they got 3 or 4 guys in the middle of their lineup that if they keep going like they're going might be fighting each other for MVP. When is that ever going to be a deceiving the runner thing? The inside move to second? Like, is that not deceiving the runner?
If it's done right. Genmar picked the guy off yesterday in Chicago. I mean, it was I mean, Ben Zobrist had no shot at getting back to second base.
Yeah, I love that. and we've all done it as hitters. You look back, is that a strike? What's he going to say? But, well, not really, but
I just wanted to see if you were paying attention.
I just called it that way, but it really wasn't. Just need that confirmation. Yes, it was a strike.
That was not a strike, but Michael waved at it. And 2 outs. So we take a look at pitch cast. There was not one pitch in the strike zone.
No.
Including the one that was called a strike.
Yeah, that's the frustrating one. But again, when you don't have to throw a strike to get a guy out, and he gets himself, that's getting yourself out. Trinan didn't get him. I mean, he made the pitches out of the zone, but if it happens too much, it's not a good thing, if you know what I mean. I mean, every once in a while you're going to get into one of those, but
ground ball to third. That's a fair ball, and it takes a bad hop past Rendon. Odubel will score. Tommy Joseph will go to second. That's going to go down as an RBI double. And the Phils will bring the tying run to the plate here in the 7th inning.
looked like that hit the back part of the base, didn't it?
That is what happened. Oh, right on top of it.
Right on top. Kick to the right of Rendon.
Well, now it's Saunders coming up. Dusty Baker, it looks like, is going to make a double switch, as he's going to bring Heisey in from right field, and Romero is going to come in with Michael Saunders due up. So pitching change. Bautista's going to go to right. We'll be back right after this. girls between the ages of 6 and 14 for baseball and softball camps. There are 4 divisions that allow for age-appropriate instruction. Don't forget, you also get a Phillies Baseball Academy uniform, a camper reunion night here at the ballpark. Call 610-520-3400 or go to philliescamps.com for more information. Well, Michael Saunders will stay in the game to bat against Enny Romero. Romero got the save the other day, 2-1 with a 5.25 ERA. Their closer, Sean Kelly, I shouldn't say their closer because they've kind of used everybody. He's on the DL now. So it's not going to be Romero that would close if the Nationals need it tonight. Tommy Joseph's RBI single means the tying run's coming to the plate. Saunders is 2 for 3 in this ball game. And now time is called.
A good sign though for Tommy Joseph. He hit a couple balls hard in today's game.
Fastball 0-1.
They say it all evens out. He lined out to Worth. He lined out to Worth his first at bat, right?
Yep.
Third at bat. And then he hits a grounder and hits the base for a double. See, they say it all evens out, but we ain't buying that.
I asked Ben that the other day. He doesn't agree with it either.
No. Well, you can ask Smitty tomorrow. I'm sure he won't agree with
No,
it.
I don't think he will. Now no balls and 2 strikes. Lefty on lefty. He's down on strikes, and the side is retired. The Phils, though, get a couple runs. They do so on 3 base hits, 2 doubles. 8 in the book, or 7 in the books. We'll go to the 8th. It's a 4-2 game. Honda dealers. Hurry to your local Del Val Honda dealers or visit DelValHondaDealers.com. And by McDonald's. Now at McDonald's, an ice cold delicious soft drink is only $1. I'm loving it. Phillies down 4-2 on the Cinco de Mayo as we go to the top of the 8th inning. Now time for a Hyundai defensive play of the game. We got 3 of them.
Yeah, Ryan Zimmerman, a long run for this one, and that was right at dusk. And great play right there, and then Odubel Herrera just outran this one in the gap, and then Michael Saunders saved a couple runs with this sliding catch off the bat of Chris Heisey. And those are your Hyundai defensive plays of the game, brought to you by your local Hyundai dealers. Smitty will get that tomorrow, won't he?
Yes, he will. Here's Ramos to pitch to Wieters. 0-1. At some point he'll get himself a Hyundai, because for the last 2 years he's talked about how much he likes the Hyundais. And Wieters is down on 3 pitches. And now Bautista, who came in as part of the double switch. Bautista 0 for 2 so far. Nationals lost a big piece to this offense and their defense when Adam Eaton went down with the ACL injury. So the fact that Harper's not playing tonight meant that Dusty Baker had to manage this outfield a little differently. Over toward third, and a foul ball. Oh, he can run.
Well, I sent a message to Adam Eaton after the injury, and just, you know, thinking about him. Hope he gets better soon. Come back, and he rolled back. Time to be a great teammate. That tells you something about his season's over, and he's more concerned about it. Now I have to be a good teammate.
I think he embraced the chance to be in Washington, yes, because they had such a good lineup, and he fit in well with that lineup.
I thought he was going to be huge. And still do. He's like he's done, but you know, they needed someone like him. That grinding.
Popped up. Tommy Joseph makes the catch. And there are 2 outs. Let's check it with Greg Murphy. Murph.
All right, it is time for our unlimited baseball break presented by T-Mobile. The LA Dodgers got 1 guy back and sent another one to the DL today. Jock Peterson, who has been on the disabled list since April 24th with a sore groin, came back today after a 3-game rehab stint. So he is back in the big leagues. However, to make room for him on their roster, how about this? Adrian Gonzalez is headed to the DL for the first time in his 14-year major league career. He was the active leader in games played, 1,774 games without being placed on the DL, but he is headed there now. He has a sore elbow. And if you think you're having a bad day, how about the day that Wade Miley had for the Baltimore Orioles? He started the game for them today, got the first 2 guys out, and then the next guy, third batter of the game, lines one back at him, and it hits his wrist. After a couple of tosses, he said, okay, I'm fine, I can stay in this game. Next pitch, line drive off his left leg. That ended his day. He is okay. They don't expect that he'll miss any time, but it's a tough way to exit the game in the first inning, guys.
It sure is. You know, we were out in Los Angeles for Agon. They were threatening to put him on the DL. Then they said the elbow just was not allowing him to extend at all as far as hitting goes.
Yeah, I watched some of his swings. It didn't look.
It looked slow.
It didn't look Adrian. Yeah, it didn't look like Adrian. Tell you what, maybe Cameron Rupp can call Wade Miley after the game, and
yeah,
they can compare bruises.
Andrew Knapp could be part of that conversation as well after the day he had.
Yeah, he was almost knocked out.
No matter how many people's here, they don't like him, do they?
They used to.
Hey.
I think it's remarkable that he has only 7 runs batted in. Fouls the first pitch back, 0-1.
He attacked that fastball. Remember that series here? He was taking a fastball, setting on a breaking ball. But, you know, only 7 RBIs. Remember where he was hitting, though, up until recently, till Adam Eaton got hurt. He was hitting 6th.
Right.
There wasn't much left after Murphy and Zimmerman got done with it.
He was kind of like another
and
leadoff
Bryce.
hitter. Opposite way, another base hit. That's his 3rd hit of the night. And now runners on 1st and 2nd for Daniel Murphy.
Second baseman,
Murphy hitting .331, 1 for 4 in this game. Bob McClure out to the mound. Powerball is up to $147 million. The Mega Million is $20 million. Powerball is Wednesdays and Saturdays. The Mega Millions Tuesdays and Fridays.
We got to play, don't we?
147 million. That's in our ballpark. Got to do it. I played the.
I mean, it's a pay cut for some, but
yeah, I played the 50-50 out of Wrigley Field.
How'd that work out?
Didn't work out well at all, but I played it.
Why don't me?
Got to be in it to win it.
Why don't me, you, and Murph get some?
Get some Powerballs?
Yeah, well, I'll chip in however much, you know.
I'm game for that.
Yeah.
Murph, you want us to loan you some money to do it? That would be perfect. And if we win, I'll pay you back.
That's right.
So generous.
He offered.
Well, out at Dodger Stadium, this is why I decided to play him at Wrigley Field. Dodger Stadium, the winner received the one night $21,000.
Wow.
Another breaking ball, and it's 0-2 to Murphy. Hector Neris, new glove and all, warming up in the bullpen. There's the 0-2 pitch now to Murphy. Floats it out to left field. Aaron Altair on the run and makes the over-the-shoulder grab. And the side is retired. That ball didn't sound like it was going to travel that far. A hit and a walk. Nationals lead 2. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. Phillies take on the Rockies. It's Tampa respiratory night, and all fans coming to the ballpark receive that cap right there. Go to Phillies.com to purchase your tickets. Well, Cameron Rupp will lead it off, and lefty stays in the game. Wow, mac and cheese. Well, I'd buy that. 0-1.
At least we got all your food groups.
All the ones we like, anyway.
Aren't those the only ones that count?
Check swing. He Wentz is the first base umpire. DJ Rayburn. Johnny, you threw that ball right at the guy wearing your jersey behind home plate.
There's a guy wearing my jersey.
Yeah.
Sure that's not me. Watch him flinch.
Got a play to the upper deck.
I flinched driving here today. Yeah, it's seagulls or whatever. One of them flew right into my window.
Really?
Scared that. You know what? Look at that.
That's old school right there.
That is old school. That's when I wore number 19 in honor of Greg Luzinski.
Is that why you wore it?
Yeah. Polish outfielders, man. We got to stick together.
What year did you switch?
I don't know. That was like the third number I had when I was here. 11. I'm trying to think.
Oh yeah, 11. I forgot you wore 11. Swing and a miss. Rupp strikes out. So number 29, Cameron Rupp.
28.
Strikes out.
I know I had another one. Oh, 11, 19, 28, 20. Yeah, 4.
So what happened to the bird?
Well, I didn't see it after that. I don't know if it got like caught up in the roof, like in that what's that thing you put luggage rack thing?
Luggage rack.
Luggage rack. That's what it's called. I don't know if it's still up there. I didn't look when I got here.
You're going to be surprised when you go back home.
It'd be interesting.
Swing and a miss by Galvis. It's all right. There's plenty more.
Oh, tell me about it.
Galvis has walked twice and he has struck out.
Like geese on a golf course, man. Useless.
That's a way to use your gut. Oh boy.
Like a wide receiver, just
Yeah.
you know, trap it in.
It's an easy 98 from Romero.
Oh, 99. Have they tried him at closer?
He closed the game the other day.
Going for the like 17 out save in this one.
It could be.
They ain't got no one warming up.
Line drive down the left field line, foul. Boy, 3 straight strikeouts for Romero. It's fairly explosive. And now Daniel Nava will come up batting right-handed. Just flat cheese right here.
Yeah, I'm not fooling around anymore. 99. On the outer half, Freddie just couldn't get to it. Romero had a little muscle flex too after that strikeout.
All right, so now Nava.
If I threw 99, I'd probably flex something too.
As long as it's around the strike zone. Victor Maris still warming up in the bullpen.
Is he allowed to wear that glove to
Yes.
pitch? Because it's not far off the color of a baseball after it's rubbed up.
That's a good point, actually.
I don't think I've ever seen a pitcher with that light colored glove.
Yeah, so sometimes I've seen it where they have the light but then a darker color with it. Off the foot of Daniel Nava.
Right off
Had
the
there
top
too,
of his
but
foot. That'll stay with you for 40, 50 years.
I know you got creaky bones, but are there things that you feel still from?
Yeah, my toe.
Really?
My second toe's kind of like a 90-degree angle.
Over to second base, and Murphy. The 1-2-3 eighth inning for Andy Romero. He's retired the 4 batters that he has faced. We move to the top of the 9th inning. A 2-run lead for the Nationals when we come back. Cure Auto Insurance. It's coming up. They'll talk about Pivetta tonight, and they'll talk about the fact that the Nationals offense continued to rake. They lead it by 2, 4-2. They have 12 hits tonight. As we go to the top of the 9th inning, Hector Neris will step into the ballgame. Nationals have left 11 tonight. They're 2 for 8 with runners in scoring position. And the Phillies 1 for 8. They've left 10. So Neris will face Ryan Zimmerman. Zimmerman is 3 for 4 with a solo home run. Man, 437 with 12 home runs and 31 runs batted and 26 runs scored. A high fly ball down the left field line. Galvis and Altair makes the catch. I think Freddie was there too to make the grab.
just missed that. There's a last second by Altera to call that ball, and you see Freddie hears it right there and then jumps out of the way. Could have been ugly.
Easier angle for Altera. That would have been I mean, Fred, you can't put anything by Freddie, but
yeah, I don't know if Altera was playing him to pull. I mean, he was, you know, Zimmerman, every ball he's hit into right field today, right, and right center.
a little bit low. Out to left field again.
There are a couple balls right there that Zimmerman and Rendon just missed.
Thankfully.
Yes. Quick outs.
That's the split, which has not been as effective for him. 1 ball, 1 strike. Take a look at our scoring summary up top. If you're wondering how the Nationals scored. There it is again, 1 and 2. Harris has his glove moving a little bit. He's just trying to hold or hide that grip. He's got the sleeve over his finger that usually sticks out of the glove with this new one.
Oh, you don't even have his finger through it.
Was it inside?
Yeah, just a decoration.
Got to play the part.
Yeah. Yeah, you see that?
Yeah. Got him with the split. Well, those 3 splits were the best he's thrown in quite a while. A 1-2-3 9th inning. That sets up the bottom of the 9th with the Phillies down by 2. Try to roll on back. Shots, but this one was kind of a backbreaker.
Yeah, you think you might have an easy inning. You get the 8th hitter up, 1 out. Now you think, okay, we get Strasburg. Top of the order comes up 2 outs, but Steven Strasburg delivers the home run to put himself and his team up 2-0, and that's the W.B. Mason delivery of the game.
Cesar Hernandez going to lead it off, and this is somewhat of a surprising closer for the Nationals, and that's Matt Albers. Now, he has thrown 10 1/3 scoreless. He's a guy who's been a starter, a long man, and a regular bullpen guy during the course of his career. But I think that Dusty's kind of in the same boat as Pete, you know, particularly with Kelly going on the DL.
Throw the hot one out there. See if he can do it.
Yep. The 459th career game for Albers. So Cesar will lead it off. Try to get on base to bring the tying run to the plate.
See Cesar, see if he can take a bunt with him, get it past Albers. Murphy's playing on the outfield grass.
Oh man, a bullet foul.
Or that'll work too.
A little quick. Right on him. 1-1. Ball and 1 strike to Cesar. Cesar thought that was a little in tight. See the way the defense is aligned for him. Rendon off the line at third. And Cesar's hit by that pitch. So the Phils do get a base runner here in the 9th inning. And Cesar is going to be greeted halfway up the line by Sean Fakasny.
Threw the fastball in to get the strike 2 call, and then that one hit him in the back knee.
I think it deflected off both, didn't it? No, you're right. Oh. That's gotta hurt. He tried to get out of the way.
Yeah, kind of looked. I think he was kind of hoping that would hit him like in the thigh. Must have had better tilt on it than he thought.
Well, it means the tying run is coming to the plate in Aaron Altair. Singles last time up, he scored a run.
Looks like the wind's picking up a little too. Huh. Blowing out. Take anything we can get.
Absolutely.
Pretty good executed pitches right there by Albers. Thinking a 4-2 game he'd be running, especially after just getting hit in the knee with a pitch.
Outside again, 2-2.
Wonder if Albers would try to go to that 2-seam fastball that he got strike 2 on Aaron. Fastball starts on the outer half and works its way back, or outside. Works its way back the outside corner.
Readers is set up that way. Trying another breaking ball. 3-2. Odubel's on deck. Dusty Baker's bullpen has 4 blown saves. Phillies are trying to make it 5 blown saves. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Altair. And he got him. It goes between his legs. Hernandez will go up to second base. And Altair is out. So 1 away, and now Odubel Herrera will be the batter.
It's really the only pitch that on that part of the plate, even to Hernandez. And that ball was spiked by Albers, and the youngster aggressive, trying to make a great impression, and just swung through it. To see him take it though. The winning run at home.
Yeah, that would have been ball 4 probably, right?
Yes.
All right, so with Altair retired, here's Odubel Herrera, who doubled home run his last time up and then scored. 1 out here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Odubel is trying to tie it up with that swing. Franco on deck. Strasburg went 5 2/3. Treinen got the last out in the 6th. And then allowed 2 runs in the 7th. Eddie Romero retired the 4 hitters he faced for the Nats. And now the Phils have a base runner here in the bottom of the 9th inning. They trail at 4-2. Outside 1-2. It's that 2-seamer.
He got Altair on it.
Brewers with runners in scoring position tonight.
This is when you're Odubel, you got to cut back on the swing a little bit, just put it in play, try to get on base.
Yeah, you get your team's leading RBI guy in the on deck circle and see if he can do it. Pass it on. Well, tomorrow game 2, 7 o'clock. Vince Velasquez on the mound for the Phils. TBD on the hill for the Nationals.
This guy gets a lot of starts during the year.
He does. Sometimes effective, sometimes not. Off the hands, fouled away. They did just bring Matt Grace up when they put Sean Kelly on the disabled list. But he's a reliever. Albers trying to pick up his first career save. In the dirt. 2-2.
almost, 2 strikes. You can't be looking location. Now you're just looking for the ball. But I would be conscious of the pitch in. It doesn't seem like Alvarez is able to throw the ball away from lefties.
Well, Duel is spoiling some pitches here. Fastball. And now 2 outs. Maikel Franco is the next hitter.
I think Odubel went up there with one thing in mind, and that was to tie the game up. And you look at these pitches in. Alvarez does get that 2-seamer away for a ball, and then another fastball in, another fastball in, a slider in. That pitch running away the 2-seamer, and another fastball up running away from Odubel Herrera. And we're down to our last one.
Maikel does have a base hit tonight. He's 1 for 4. Struck out his last time. Had a breaking ball outside. Now, obviously, they don't want to put the winning run on. But we saw yesterday, even with the Cubs series, they tried to get Franco, like a lot of pitchers, to get himself out. Over to third base, and Rendon has it. And the ball game is over. Matt Alvarez picks up his first career save. As the Nationals take game 1 by a final score of 4-2. The Phillies